If you can hear me loud and clear, please type a yes in the comment section. Let's know that we're on the same page. More people are joining. Good morning to everyone. If you can hear me, just type a yes. Let me know that we're on the same page, please, so that we can start. All right, thanks. I can see a feedback. All right, thank you, Arinze Raphael. I believe you can hear me. So I'll say that others can hear me. Mr. John Agon, good morning, sir. All right, let's roll. All right, so today, earlier on this morning, just 7 a.m., 22 minutes ago, morning, Madam Onaji, good morning, Mr. Mukhtar. 7 a.m. this morning, there was GDP from the United Kingdom, a data released which came out bad for the British pound. And that's the news we have for this morning session. The other events will come up later by 1:30 p.m. That will be for the afternoon session. So between now and the afternoon, we don't have any fundamental activity. But generally, the market may be a bit quiet today. And I will advise we trade with a lot of caution. Yeah, some technicals may move, but then there may be some overall quietness in the market today. So I will advise we trade with a lot of caution. By 1:30 p.m., there will be employment change and unemployment rates from Canada. This is Canada's version of its own NFP. Normally, it's released, most instances rather, is released same time with the NFP from the United States, which is first Friday. But there are instances where the data for Canada doesn't come up same first Friday, and it's shifted to the second Friday, which is what we are observing today. So let's watch out for volatility on the Canadian dollar, and I'll be showing you the currency pairs I'm looking at for that particular event. Now, for those who are new to news trading, I'll just say a few things. If you click on this brown envelope that is indicated as details, it will show you the details of the news that we are waiting for, that we're expecting to be released. Like now, the employment change measures the change in the number of employed people during the previous month, and actual greater than forecast is good for the currency, while unemployment rate is a measure of the percentage of the total workforce that is unemployed and actively seeking employment during the previous month. For this, actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So by 1:30 p.m., this is what we're going to be looking out for on the Canadian dollar. If the data comes out all good for the Canadian dollar, the color will be green for both data, and that will mean we can buy the Canadian dollar. That is, we can buy CAD JPY, CAD CHF, or conversely, we may sell USD CAD or Euro CAD or another one like that. And if on the other hand, the data comes out bad for the Canadian dollar, the data will be in color red, and that means we'll be able to sell the CAD JPY, CAD CHF, or the other way, buy the other ones that are negatively correlated, that is, goes in the opposite direction. So, but then we'll go on the charts to see what, from a technical perspective, is possible with this particular instrument. And I'm switching over to my MetaTrader platform now to give you an insight into that. Now, for the technicals, I'll be looking at the Euro card and the AUD card. These are the two instruments I'll be looking out for this news. And even, okay, I think I should start with the card CHF. Now, at the beginning of the week, I gave my outlook on the card CHF. If you are part of the weekly outlook on Monday, you can refer to this. I remember telling us that on Monday that I'm expecting a massive a breakout on the CAD CHF, which is going to be a long-term kind of movement, and it's getting clearer, by the day that we hold a bullish outlook on this instrument. I'll start my analysis again from the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we can see that. Let me clean it off again so that I can do a fresh one. On the weekly time frame, yeah, the week actually started with price on this support level on the weekly time frame. Now, not only that, On a closer look, we can also see here that we have price trending downwards, making a series of lower lows, and we can still draw another trend line to connect to form a perfect looking falling wedge pattern. But this is the area of focus. Price has been trending lower. We have lower lows, and each time touching the trend line. And here we now have a confluence between the support and that trend line. So technically, we're expecting a breakout in the bullish direction on the weekly time frame on the CAD CHF. And not only that, we're expecting a breakout here. Not only that, this is also forming what looks a lot like a double bottom pattern. So technically, we have a bullish outlook on the CAD CHF, and I give that right from Monday. Now, in the course of the week, there has been some movement, and yesterday we had the market closing, with a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. We have a support zone right there. So the market closed, like I said, with a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, and we're seeing what looks a lot like the formation of a minor double bottom within even the major one, and which is expected to trigger price in a bullish direction. So in all angles, we have a bullish outlook on the CAD CHF. Yes, this morning we can see a retracement. This is a retracement, a slight bearish movement. Now, since we have a bullish outlook on the CAD CHF, if the data from Canada, both the employment change, unemployment rate, if both of them comes out good for the Canadian dollar, that will lead to our price being triggered to continue in its overall bullish direction. So this confirms my bullish take on the CAD CHF. Now, when that happens, if the data, peradventure the data comes out bad for the CAD, well, it will just retrace slightly, but eventually, I strongly believe it will still reverse back into the bullish direction. So I hold a bullish outlook on the CAD CHF. Now, since we're bullish on the CAD CHF, like I said, I'll be looking at a bearish possibility on both the Euro CAD and the AUD CAD. But I think for the sake of simplicity and clarity, if you just stick with the CAD CHF and look at trading these. So we're bullish on the CAD CHF for today. So watch out for the news when released in the afternoon. If the data comes out, that means what generally, if it comes out good, I wouldn't want to quote the actual greater than forecast or less than forecast because that seems to be opposing each other in this instance. But if the data comes out by 1:30 p.m., all green, then you can trigger a buy on the CAD CHF. Now, aside the CAD CHF, there are a few other pairs I'm looking at technically this time around. Now, at the moment, they look more like swing, though we can have an intraday outlook to them also. And one of it is the Euro New Zealand. And this is actually getting ready more for a kind of a long-term breakout. Now, this is Euro New Zealand on the weekly time frame. And price currently is trading around a resistance level. Price is trading around a resistance level on the weekly time frame. Currently looks like it's forming a doji. But the day is here to end, the week is here to end. So anything can still happen in the course of today. But at the moment, that's what I'm seeing. Now, if it closes by the end of today being Friday and end of the week, if price closes with that doji, that means technically we should get ready for a massive bearish breakout on this instrument from next week. But then it's possible the breakout may also gradually start today, all things being equal. So we're just to watch and see how the market is going to move on this particular one. So what I'm seeing on the weekly time frame is price hitting a resistance zone on the weekly time frame. We can now look at how to make an entry on a smaller time frame. So I'll go over now to daily, because what we're doing is called top-down analysis. We don't have much to say on the daily, but then on the 4 hour is where we are looking at more. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, yesterday we had a kind of a triple top pattern up there, which led to the bearish breakout that we saw on the Euro New Zealand yesterday. This is a triple top pattern, and this region here is the neckline, which price, broke out below. So this is my view of the Euro New Zealand. I have a rising wedge pattern right here, and price has clearly broken out, getting set for a massive continuation in the bearish direction. However, okay, also in support of that, RSI is clearly below 50 and MACD is clearly below 0. So this is actually in the bearish zone already. But then for us to look at trading this, we may look at price breaking out below this recent low. So in the course of today, if price breaks out below the recent low, that might be an indication that we can trigger a sell. So if price breaks out below 1.93468, we may trigger a sell on this Euro New Zealand. Currently, it's retracing. What's happening at the moment is a retracement. And it's also possible price will come to hit the previous resistance turned support. There's a previous resistance up here turned support. All right. So we have a resistance here, which turned to a kind of support somewhere. So resistance, price broke through that resistance. Sorry, a retest. There may be a retest and a continuation, or there can be an outright breakout for a continuation. Those are the two scenarios I'm seeing around this instrument. Again, price may break out outrightly, or you can see here a breakout, a retest of this previous resistance, and a continuation. Those are the two scenarios. But ultimately, either way it goes, price is still expected to break out below this support, or this recent low rather, for us to see a continuation on the Euro New Zealand. But then it's going to be a swing setup. But if you want to trade it on intraday, maybe you just want to pick a few pips, as the day evolves, maybe some 10, 20 pips, and you are out if swing trading is not your thing. But originally, this is actually a swing setup. So trade it with caution. Except you're a swing trader, you can stay and ride the wave. That is very, very possible, because after that breakout happens, price is expected to target, this should be Fibonacci 38.6, sorry, 38.2 rather. It's expected to target the next Fibonacci level at 38.2 at about 64 pips. Fibonacci 50 at about 150 pips, and Fibonacci 1.8 at about 246 pips thereabout. That's massive. Price may not get to all those levels today. So I'm just letting you know it may be a trade that may span for days. So if you're a swing trader, welcome to the trade. This trade will give you some very, very good opportunity. More so if the market closes by the end of today as a rejection candle on the weekly time frame. That will be what will give us that move that we're expecting more from next week. So I'm bearish on the Euro New Zealand. Now we have similar setup on Euro AED also. This one is already in motion. But for the Euro AUD, not having that perfect resistance on the weekly time frame like I'm seeing on the Euro New Zealand. So I want to just hold on this. Let's stick with the Euro New Zealand and wait for a breakout, below that minor low, minor support or the recent low. That will give us a clearer entry. All right, so that's my key instrument for today. We are bearish on the Euro New Zealand. For those who are just joining us, we've analyzed for the news ahead this afternoon from Canada. There's employment change, unemployment rate from Canada, and we're bullish on the Canadian dollar. We're bullish on the CAD CHF. You might need to watch the video again to get an insight into how we plan to trade the CAD CHF by 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. All right, so aside these two instruments that fits my trading style, the market seems to be on a very quiet note today. If you have any instruments you want me to analyze, you may just drop it while I quickly look at it as we begin to round up. Now, Progress is asking me to check USD CAD. This is USD CAD. Let's start from the weekly. Now, at the beginning of the week, we held a bullish outlook on the dollar. We can see the dollar index has, at least it's not at the same level as Monday. Yeah, I remember drawing this inverse head and shoulder, but we've not had a straight out, clean bullish movement like that. It brought, but with much of a range within the whole setup, not a clear, direct, it would have been better we had a direct breakout, but we've had more of a range kind of thing, even though it moved higher, but not a straight up bullish break like that. And that's why I said we need to be very careful. Market seems to still be a little unstable, especially around the major currency pairs. And even USD CHF has not, except for yesterday when there was a news that pushed it a little, we've not had much stability around majority of these instruments. And today being Friday, I would really advise to trade with a lot of caution, especially from the afternoon, from around 12:30, 1 p.m. Technically trade with a lot of caution on Fridays because markets can be unstable. So back to the USD CHF. Let's take a look at this. So this is USD CHF on the daily, on the weekly time frame. Let's flip down to the daily. All right, so this is 4 hour time frame. We can see price hitting the trend line. This is the third time with a rejection candle. Technically, we may be looking at the possibility of some reversal on the USD CAD. More so, we equally still have a confluence here with a resistance. You can see those rejection candles forming a resistance. Might be looking at USD CAD dropping, but that's still on the 4 hour. Let's go down to 15 minutes to look for something more clearer. Okay, now this sharp breakout here, just affected any clarity as to regards entry. I will advise to trade USD CAD with caution today. Possibly if you can stay out, the better. But this is what I have finally here. We have a range around this area. So for one reason or the other, if price is able to break out below this range, we may see a sell. Now, we're not having a clear-cut kind of entry on this one, but you never can tell how price may work. But if price breaks out below this range, that may lead to some bearish move. But to be honest, you can stay off this, the better. We're looking more at CAC CHF to trade for the news in the afternoon. Now that's clear to Progress. Grace and Maureen, they're both asking for GBP JPY. Let's look at GBP JPY. I remember giving a bearish outlook on the GBP JPY yesterday, but then market seems not to have gone in that direction. Volatility has been somehow this week. All right, this is GBP JPY. We expected a breakout downwards yesterday, but price didn't break that support level. Now, even though the data from the United Kingdom came out bad for the pound, we've seen some bearish movement due to the news. The current candle, 4-hour candle you are seeing, is because of the news this morning where the data came out bad, for the pound. Now, if you miss that initial move due to that news, it's too late to enter that move now. If you are to trade GBPJPY, you still have to wait for price to break out below this support level here. Price can break out below this support level. Well, we may see, some selling opportunity. So that's what we can look out for on the GBPJPY today. Price breaks out below the support. We'll see some momentum downwards. Mr. John Egon, you can send me a private chat on this on WhatsApp. I'm not sure if I've gotten the chat from you. You can just go ahead after this session and send the chat directly to me. But the best is just reach out to your account manager. The account manager will be in the best position to guide you through on how to get started. And that's for everyone. So if you want to join the 5X, I keep saying it. If you are not on the 5X, you are missing a lot. You are missing a lot. Over 1,000 pips have been generated since inception. We started 5X in June, everything thereabout. The first week in June. And from that time to now, over 1,000 pips have been generated. I believe you have seen the updates in the WhatsApp group you belong to. We've had over 90%, well over 90% winning rate, on that platform. Imagine you funded your account and you're trading with those signals, you will have made a lot of money. So don't sleep on it, don't sit on it. Analysis gives you direction, 5X gives you the signal. So don't miss it. And 5X is not really for everybody in the research. It's for those who understand the value of what we do at PU Prime and wants to be a part of it to make a good income for themselves. So reach out to your account manager. They will guide you on how to get started with 5X. So GBPJPY we're expecting, I'm not saying the probability is not high, it's not, but we may see a breakout downwards and that may give some movement on GBPJPY. Gold and Euro USD. Now for gold, price technically we have an uptrend on gold. Price making some higher highs, and higher lows here. And we can see here a couple of days back, gold closed as a rejection candle on this trend line, and that has given some bullish movement in the last 2 days. But currently, price is trading at a resistance level. And see this resistance level on 4-hour time frame. Now, 2 things could happen at this point. We may see if volatility drops today, we may see a retracement, or otherwise, price may break out upwards. If it breaks out upwards, we may have a much more bigger move, compared to a retracement. So here is price is trading at a very, very critical level on gold. We may see a breakout, a retest, and a continuation of the bullish direction. Or better still, if this candle closes by the close of the next 4-hour candle, which will be around 11 a.m. If it closes as a rejection candle, similar to something like this, either it's a green or red. If it closes as a rejection candle, we may see a retracement downwards. So it can be the position where gold is. It can be a dual direction. Gold can go in either direction. It may buy or sell, but the buy may produce more pips. But in reality, it is whatever the market gives that we take. It's not our decision, But if it reverses downwards after closing as a rejection candle, there's a way for price to break below the lower trend line and wait for your RSI to cross below 50 and can trigger a sell. That's on one side. Now, if on the other side, price breaks out above the resistance level, then you wait for a retest. Retest means after the breakout, price comes back to the previous, resistance level, which is now a support. Wait for a retest and a continuation into the bullish direction. So that's my outlook on gold. Finally, Euro USD. Now, the major currency pairs, we have to trade them today with a lot of caution because the dollar has not been so active the whole week long. Now, remember I dropped an analysis on Euro USD earlier in the week. It's actually playing out. Though I don't know what will happen today because of low volatility. You can see that the movement has not been direct. There's some buying, selling, is not a direct sell. From that analysis, you can go and check it out on your WhatsApp group. On Monday or so, I said I saw this might return back to this, resistance turned support level. And it's actually coming down. Will it get here today? Honestly, at this point, I can say if you have not entered earlier, just stay out of the Euro USD today. If you've not made an entry earlier before now, just stay out. We're not seeing stability around this instrument. There are three things we do in trading. We buy, we sell, we wait. But at times the market condition is not just right and you cannot force a trade. If you try to force a trade when the market condition is not right, most likely that may lead to a loss. So I'm not seeing anything on the Euro USD for today. All right, so that's going to be all from our analysis this morning. If you're yet to be a part of our physical training session, you're still missing out a lot. Take advantage of what PU Prime is offering you. What will offer you is education. What will offer you is solution on how to make money in the global financial market. So join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays at both our Abuja and Lagos offices for physical training session. Now, this training session will hold your hands to teach you how the Forex market works, strategies that are consistently giving profit, which we use at PU Prime. It's really time to learn. It's a time to unlearn too. Maybe you're already doing something that is not working. You can unlearn it and learn what we have to give you to become more profitable. Now, the time for the training, Abuja office is 10:30 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Lagos is 11 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. The address of our Abuja office is PU Prime Abuja Work and Connect Building, 50 AP2 with Kiwe Street, Jabi, Abuja. And if you're in Lagos and its environment, you can visit the address in Lagos, which is Lagos, PU Prime Lagos, Lagos Executive Lounge, 54B Adeni Jones Avenue, Lagos. We hope to see you next week, Tuesday. Take care and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you.